for some reason, making these videos ever since I started many years ago have always made me feel better. I mean, yeah, I've been attacked and everything else many times, and but for some reason, I feel like when I share what I've been cooking in my head all my life, it makes me, I get some sort of release. I guess I'm talking to the right crowd. That's probably what it is. It's feeling like, there's a few people who watch. I could think of nothing worse than having hundreds of thousands of people watch my videos each day or something like that. I've never been in it for that, for fame, for money, for anything. Really, it's just about, there's a certain group of people who just seem to watch. There's a hardcore group of people who just seem to watch my videos when they come out, and that makes me feel a lot better. And the purpose of this one today really is to point out that, the positives from everything that's going on at the moment, and the fact that we already know that, a lot of stuff, and we've been able to deal with it. You can see a lot of fear amongst society today, and I don't need to be adding to that. I think this is one of the best things that have ever happened in my mind in recent history to the entire world. Not in a c'est la vie way where I don't care who gets ill and things like that. I mean, I've had a lot of bad things that happened in my family, and my uncle, who's 76, ended up in hospital and nearly died from the coronavirus, tested positive. So there's a lot of bad things that have happened as well. But then there's also the fact that we get kicked off our usual path. We get whatever we used to know gets destroyed, and you get kicked out of those routines, and from that something new comes along. You start to focus on what really means something in your life, and who you want around you, what you want to go on in your life. And I think that's really good. Another good positive from all this, because as you guys know who watch my videos, that we've already gone through the fear stage and the panic and everything else many years ago. For some people, it was when they were in their teens, and they may be in their 60s now, watching this video, but you've already been through that because you knew things weren't right and everything else. So you've dealt with it, and you've seen a lot of people deal with what we've had to deal with many years ago, right now, and live in literally a state of fear, like, oh, please don't take me, I don't want to die, and things like that. Whereas we tend to be probably a little bit more balanced, I'd like to think. And my recent videos, for instance, they're not meant to be a negative videos. They're supposed to be an offering, as in let's learn, let's teach each other what we think is the rules of engagement by these people who want to study our habits. So my last video, for instance, the one that was called Be an Oddball, that was aimed at, you can think many different things about that video, but ultimately what I was trying to show is that predictable patterns in human behavior creates good business. Because once you start off your grandmother and grandfather days, you guilt trip people into buying stuff for their grandparents, and then you can just make those cards or whatever it is that people give to their grandparents, and they get manufactured many months before these days come along. So it's like it's not a predictable pattern as in to try and suppress you into a lifestyle, even though that does happen as a byproduct. It's a business. The world is a business. And the sooner that we understand that, the more that we can either, I wouldn't say fight it, I wouldn't say you would never be able to fight it. I would say the more that you can opt out and be the oddball, and that was the reason for the title of that video. You can be the one who doesn't react to all these days that get given. I mean, for instance, like Easter now. Easter don't. We've just gone through Easter. Easter is not prepared for an Easter. Easter eggs are made before Christmas, and I know that because I know someone who makes them, and they are really busy before Christmas. And then when Easter comes along, it's like, oh, we've got nothing to do now. We've met all our quotas, and all been sent out before the event. So you can see these patterns of behaviour that are studied, and try to be made to be as predictable as possible, so that certain people can make money out of you. And learning those rules of engagement, learning the rules of business is a really good thing. By the way, if this video does cut out, I've got very low storage for some reason on this crappy iPhone, and You know, it's got really bad memory. It cut off just now when I was trying to make this video. So if it does cut off, I'll just upload it. But yeah, so learning the rules of engagement for a business world, this is why I was always in favour of people like Donald Trump when he got into power. I felt an inner peace. And I'll explain why, because obviously you trigger a lot of people when you say statements like this. Donald Trump is a businessman, for sure. But he doesn't go around and fight with weaponry in order to get his way. You know, Obama, Bushes, everybody else would just go to war over oil to gain control. You know, it's like, well, if we're not going to win anything else, we're just going to kill a lot of people. You know, and whoever kills the most people got the most power. Whereas there's an element of trade wars and things like that also kill people. I'm not denying that. Just like this drastic action to shut everybody down, lock everybody up, will also kill people by proxy, more people than the virus itself. Always made that clear. It come to me the very first day it happened. I said, this will kill more people than you would ever save by keeping people apart, or would ever die from the virus or whatever. And you know, once you start learning that this is a business world and there are people in those positions of power who want to predict that business and make money from it, you can then start being a conscious consumer. Go and pay the extra £1 for a pack of beer down the local corner shop. Go and find your local petrol station that you can walk to. Maybe, all right, the petrol station itself, all the petrol belongs to the big Tesco firms, but sometimes the people running it are independents. And find those little independents, the ones you drive past and you can never be bothered to go in because they're on a sharp corner, or they haven't got a prime location or a huge car park. Go in those. The ones that are local to you, keep them open. Keep those independent traders going. And that's the way to do it. It's conscious. Be a conscious consumer. Find those people. You know, for instance, if I wanted honey, I'm not going to go to Asda and go and buy the Rouse honey or whatever else you get. I'm going to go to my local supplier. He's a beekeeper. He keeps bees in his back garden and he's got a field with bees in. And then I'm going to go and pay, maybe at Asda or somewhere like that in the UK here, I would pay £4.50 for an average jar. But then I go to him, I'm paying £5. That's not that much more, really, is it? Come on. You know, for all the hassle and the fact that you haven't got billions of pounds to spend on items to save a buck here and there. You know, we need to start supporting these people, and that's where I think we need to learn from this, is the self-employed person, the people who are trying to make an independent business. When you hand money to them, in their shop, especially cash, particularly cash, I don't want to know what they do with that. I'm not interested. They go on that, but the good thing about that is, you know, you're handing it out to that person, and that's going to his family or her family straight away, and it's going in their pockets. These big boys, you know, they just make billions on top of, you know, the almost the slavery of others. So, yeah, I'm going to cut it off there, but be a conscious consumer. Don't learn the rules of engagement, not by being negative and talking about how we're suppressed and everything else, but once you know the patterns, you can predict what you should and shouldn't be doing and where these people want you to go, and you can be the oddball. You can not follow that path. You can purposefully go somewhere else, and that's the, you know, that's the biggest freedom of all.